Calvin, and welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a while since I posted, but this little one has kept me really busy. But we're back. The past 6 weeks have been kind of wild. Gave birth, yeah. We moved states, and then Joseph left for his tour. So that's been a little crazy. But we're doing good. Yes. Yeah. So, birth. We went in at 12:30 a.m. Tuesday, August 20th, and I was going to be induced. And they went to start the medicine, and they did one last little sonogram check. And this little munchkin had decided to use my uterus as a hammock. Yes, you. And had turned sideways. He had been head down since 23 weeks and had decided the day before, or the day of being induced, was the day he wanted to turn. Literally, he was sideways and had his hands behind his head. Was sitting like he was in a hammock. Yeah. So they had to wait. We had to wait for him to turn. Otherwise, I would have had to have a C-section. Luckily, he did turn. One of the questions that you guys asked was, how long were you in labor? That depends on what you count as labor. So if you count from when they started Pitocin, it was 12.5 hours. If you count from when they broke my water, it was 7.5 hours. So after a couple hours of, taking medicine, contractions, whatever, they did come in and break my water. I didn't realize I was having contractions some of the time. Because they didn't hurt in my stomach. I could feel like the tightening and the pressure, but I don't know what I thought that was. But I had a lot of back labor. My back hurt so bad the whole time. So that was fun. Like, really, my lower back was just killing me the whole time. When you looking, you see yourself? You see yourself? So my back hurt the whole time. So bad. But I didn't feel like a tightening in my back. I felt the tightening in my stomach, but there was no pain in my stomach. So that was a little weird. So they came eventually and broke my water. And that was a really weird feeling, like this warm gush of water, for those of you wondering. It was the weirdest, grossest feeling. From there, it was 7.5 hours until a little bit made his arrival. I did get an epidural. That was another question you guys asked, was did I go natural or did I get an epidural? God bless whoever invented the epidural. It was a great decision. Like I said, I was having really bad back labor. I did get to sleep a little bit, which helped, but, it hurt. That's when my back really started to hurt, was after they broke my water. Joseph would be sitting with me and watching the screen. They had me hooked up to the little monitor, and he was like, oh, you're having a contraction, and I'm in the bed like, no kidding, I know, I feel it. Whatever, he was just trying to be helpful. It was kind of funny. Anyway, I got the epidural around 4 centimeters dilated, and after that, it was a couple more hours. It wasn't that much longer, I don't think. I don't know. I have no concept of time. I noticed the epidural was starting to wear off around the time that he was ready to come, because I was still feeling contractions, but the contractions changed from, like, across my stomach to downwards. Pushing down is what it felt like, and then I could feel a little bit of pain. More of an ache. Nothing too hard. What? Little man got grumpy, so he's in the swing now. Anyway, so my contractions started to feel like they were pushing down, and I was feeling a little bit of an ache. And I mentioned that to Joseph, and he said, okay, well, let me go tell Teresa, our nurse. And so I was like, okay, whatever. I'll stay here. Can't go anywhere else. And so Teresa came in, and she was like, all right, are you ready? And I was like, ready for what? And she says, all right, Dad, you're going to hold this leg, and this is how you're going to do this. And I'm like, wait, hold my leg? What's going on? And it was time. It was time to push. I spent a little over an hour pushing, which was another one of your questions. So at 12:59 a.m. on August 21st, little man made his appearance, holding the umbilical cord between his middle and ring finger in front of his face, which caused him to be in distress. And so he wasn't breathing at first, or on his own. He was having trouble with that, and so they had to take him. He did have to stay in the NICU the whole, rest of the 48 hours that we were in the hospital. I had to be on some antibiotics because I did spike a fever during delivery. Holy cow, guys. I got real hot, and I shook. I started shaking a lot, and because I guess, I mean, my body was in shock. I was delivering a baby. It was wild. So I spiked a fever. He had to be on some antibiotics. He had to be on oxygen for about 24 or 36 hours. Whatever. I mean, he was just fine. He was eating, and that was all. He just needed some help to breathe at first. But he's all good now.
That's the way to go. 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 That's the only way to go.
Something else you asked was, are you breastfeeding? And I am. At first, since he was on oxygen, he couldn't latch because you can't really do that with tubes in your nose. He was on formula while he was in the hospital. I would pump and give them whatever I got out, and they'd give it to him, and then they'd supplement. We got him home from the hospital, and he was having trouble latching. The lactation consultant said he was just lazy. So, a side note, something I recommend, if your insurance covers it / your hospital offers it, definitely talk to a lactation consultant. Take advantage of them. They're there to help, and they're amazing. And, I mean, I went back to see her 3 or 4 times afterwards because I did struggle a little bit. I got really discouraged when I felt like it wasn't working. Yeah. Your advice to you is try not to get discouraged. You'll hear that over and over if you're going to breastfeed, but it is something that's difficult. It's not easy, and it takes time to learn. Remember that both of you and the baby are new at this. They literally don't know anything, and then this is something you've never done before if it's your first child. So don't get discouraged. Take advantage of lactation consultants and your mom or your grandma or your friends that have done it. Take all the advice, you know, and just keep trying, because now we're good. It's going well, and it is a joy to get to feed my son. First car ride. Going home. Mia, when we came home, was very excited. She hadn't seen us in a few days, and then there was her baby brother, and all she really did was sniff him and like lick his knees. That's all she usually does. She's not quite sure what to make of him. She's a little jealous because now she doesn't get as much attention. First, when we first brought him home, when he cried, she would run over to him and look at him and just stare. Now when he cries, she looks at us like, you gonna fix that? She loves him. The first thing she does when we come home is sniff him. So then 3 weeks after I gave birth, we moved me to Tennessee to be with family while he's on his short tour. His parents came in, and then my dad came back to help us move. His mom was there for a week to help us pack, and then our dads came in a couple of days before to help us load the truck. And then the 3 of them, our dads and Joseph, drove the truck and my car with the dog. And then my mother-in-law, the baby, and I flew home because my doctor said, you really don't want to make that really long drive with the baby. Just take the plane. He's young enough. It's fine. So what I did is we checked the car seat, and I used that baby sling. If you remember from the last video, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the bio or description of the video, whatever. I figured out how to wrap it. So I used one of the wraps, and I wrapped him to myself and walked him through the airport, and he's great. First month with baby has been kind of nuts, obviously, because we moved and then Joseph left, but it's really cool. It's really weird sometimes just to look at him and I'm like, wait, that's my baby? The first couple weeks, we kind of felt like we took somebody's baby. Like, it just felt like we stole someone's child, and we didn't know why we did that or who left their baby with us, but now we've kind of adjusted. It's kind of surreal that he's my son. To say my son, like, I know he's real, I know he's here, I know he's mine, but to say my son, my baby, is still really strange. It's really fun to see my parents become grandparents. I love that. But it's still weird to, like, see my parents holding this baby. I'm like, that's my baby. He's so snuggly, and I love him, and he's doing so well. He loves tummy time, loves to lift his head up and look around. With all that said, postpartum hormones are no joke. After you've had a baby, make sure that you are talking to people. Make sure that you're not, just totally secluding yourself. Obviously, you need to rest and not really go anywhere for a little bit, but make sure that you're talking to, your partner, your parents, your friends, somebody, especially if you're feeling down, because postpartum depression is real. If you need someone to talk to, please message me, inbox me, comment something. I'm here. I don't want you to suffer in silence because I know that, obviously I know now, postpartum hormones are really hard. I cried a lot. Okay now, but make sure you are honest with your doctor as well. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment or inbox me on Instagram. I will get back to you for show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will be doing my best to upload videos more consistently now that little one is here and grown up a little bit, and I've started to get the hang of it. Also, don't forget to leave me comments or messages about what videos you want to see or things you want me to talk about or try or whatever. See you next time.